All right, so we're back. Been all over the place lately, y'all. I know we've been doing plastic bumper repair. Been telling you stories about my about riding motorcycles and stuff, and just kind of really just doing a little bit of everything. You know, this channel is just about me and all the things that I do, and I'm into a lot of different shit. So you know, it's vast. But today we are back on War Machine. So picking up where we left off, we were working on air and stuff. Now we're moving inside the cab. Got to throw batteries and a trickle charger that I got to put in this thing. Dual batteries. Found some really cool parts like on Amazon. I want to share with y'all some stuff that's really affordable that looks really like high quality. Looks way more expensive than it is. Show you how I kind of navigate having no room to put any of this stuff in there, and somehow figured it all out. So hey, let's get on to it. Ain't no sense in listening to me sit here babbling on. Alrighty, well, I know I said the next thing we were going to do is install the air horns, but I got out my air horn and started kind of getting out everything that I needed to do it, and I did not have all the air fittings that I needed. So we're going to move to mounting the batteries. I ordered the air fittings, probably going to be 3 or 4 days before they get here. So we're going to move to mounting the batteries, and that's going to start with removing this tray, which is a shame because it kind of, you know, it's been a fair little bit of time, you know, getting this thing where I can mount it. And I still kind of like the idea of having it, but my plan is to put the batteries right here. So I'm going to get this thing pulled out of here, and then we'll jump up there on the table and I'll show you all my stuff and I'll show you what I got planned. Okie dokie. So, what we have here is our battery and parts arsenal. I don't know what else to call it, so that's what we're gonna call it. So, I got 2 brand new Optima Blue Tops. Why did I get Optima Blue Tops? Well, because they're Optimas, they're the best, and they're blue. Yes, I am that shallow. I don't care. Judge me. I don't care. Whatever. They have got more than enough power to power everything on this truck, and then a whole bunch of more stuff that maybe I could add later. Who knows? We'll see. So, we got our 2 batteries right here. Brand new ski. Got them bad boys off of Amazon. That was pretty cool. So, I was going to build like a battery tray to hold them. And you know, it's not a big deal to build a battery tray. So, but then when I was buying these, it pops up. You know how it's like frequently bought together stuff on Amazon, and this guy came up. Now this is just all the cool. So you see, you got the holes in the bottom right here where you can mount this base plate down, and it's really nice billet aluminum. Looks like it's probably, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch thick. It's got a nice little ridge which sits down in right here. So obviously, like for me, I'm going to put rib nuts in the floor to bolt this to, and then of course we got all our hardware right here. Ooh, I hope I got these rib nuts. I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to call Fastenal tomorrow. Probably should have thought about that before now. Whatever. I'll overnight some if I have to. So anyhow, the battery sits in here. Like this. Fits nice too. Not too big. So then you got this little guy right here. It actually sits in there. Look at that. Sits right over the inside of that. I mean, how clean is that? And then obviously you just come through, bang, bolt down here, holds it nice and tight. That, I mean, I would have never made anything look that clean, look that nice. And let me just go and tell you, I got these dudes for like, I think they were $45 a piece. Like, that is nothing. I couldn't have made something that wouldn't have looked a third, a quarter, a tenth as good as this for $145, let alone 45 bucks. And I didn't have to do nothing but click buy it now, and it was here in like 2 or 3 days. So obviously I got 2 of them. Yeah, this one, that's one right there, is just not open yet. So I gotta check on the rib nuts. That's gonna suck because I pretty much already know that I don't have those. That sucks. So in an effort to save just a little bit of money, I don't know, for those of you that may remember, when I originally bought the 2000 f450, it had a bucket lift on the back. It was like electrical or hydraulic bucket lift. Well, this is the 1/0 wire that powered that bucket. So I was able to take it all off and I didn't have to cut it or anything. So I stuck it to the side because this wire is expensive. I mean, especially nowadays, post-COVID, shoosh, everything is expensive. And wire is no different. So I'm gonna use this to wire up the batteries and run the wire to the, up to the starter solenoid. So, and we'll use it for our grounds and everything as well. So at least I can reuse that, save a couple bucks. Now, this truck won't get driven. It's not a daily. Oh, also, got these bad boys right here. Another Amazon find that I got. I actually got 2 sets of them right here. You got two 1-aught connections and then 2 smaller connections in the middle. So I got 4 of them. Found that's another Amazon find for $26 for all 4. Pretty excited about that. Those worked out really nice. Obviously, those are going to go on here. Then obviously gonna need a big fuse to run inline to this thing. You know, if you're starting a gasoline motor, you might need 200 amp fuse or something like that. Well, I Googled it, and to you know, to start this diesel motor, they said you wanted like a 700 crank or a 700 amp fuse. Let me just go and tell you, it's not an easy thing to find. So then I went ahead and I looked up the cold cranking amps on these batteries. Well, the cold cranking amp is 800 on these batteries, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to have a 700 amp fuse just in case it were to need all 800 of those cold cranking amps to roll this 7.3 over sometime. So I went ahead, I bought this fuse panel, and it took me a few minutes to find, but I did find an 800 amp fuse for it. So we got us an inline fuse and a fuse block that's got to go in there as well. And this thing is not, and check these out, twice I've stopped. So the day when I was on Amazon, when I was ordering this fuse and ordering these, I don't know if these just popped up and they look cool to me, or if in my mind I was thinking of something else. I'm really not sure, to be honest with you, but this is a single 1-aught in and a dual 1-aught out. They're really nice. The way they connect is really nice. They'll screw down to the floor, really good. It's a nice little like Y, I guess you might call it. Or you could call it, it's not really a junction block, but nice like little Y. I got 2 of them. I have no idea why I bought them. Like absolutely no clue right at the moment, but they look really cool. And I'm gonna set them to the side and hopefully it will come to me why I bought those. Now, back to what I was saying. This thing is not it's not gonna be a daily driver. It's gonna probably sit a lot. I'll just drive it on the weekends, or maybe, you know, once every now and again, if it's a nice day, I might drive it to work or something. Depends on how much I like driving it, I guess. So it'll sit a lot, and obviously when vehicles sit a lot, not good for the batteries. So what I got for this right here, like I've got a trailer that has a winch on it that keeps 2 batteries in the front of the trailer. And I put, where is it? Put one of these. Now this is just basically, it's a plug receptacle that you can screw into something so that you can plug the female end of an extension cord right into it and run power. So I mounted a battery tender inside the box on the trailer that is hardwired into this, so that all I gotta do is plug it in and my batteries stay hot all the time to run my winch. So basically gonna do the same thing on this truck. So I've got this, and then where the original fuel tank was behind the cab, it used to have a fuel filler neck that came out right behind the driver's door. So we're gonna get an aluminum plate, we're gonna put right there, we're gonna rivet it on, and I'm gonna mount this billet fuel cap right here. So when you're just looking at it from the side, it looks like it's got a fuel cap on it. But what it's actually gonna have is this guy glued to the back side of it. That way, when I'm home and I'm not driving it, I can just take that fuel cap off, I can plug my plug in right here, pull the cover down over top of it, and my batteries I can run a battery tender that will be mounted inside the truck. Now, the one that I have on my trailer is just kind of a little rinky-dink one. You know, I didn't really care. It's just going inside the trailer. I mean, it's a Schumacher, however you say it. It's nice, but I wanted something a little fancier for this thing. So that's where I ran up on this guy right here. For those of you that have ever used these NOCO products before, they make like the little small jump boxes and stuff like that. Make lots of random things like that. I was browsing on Amazon one night. As you can see, I'm a big Amazon guy. Browsing on Amazon, I found where they make this. It is designed just to keep 2. I don't have to like run a single, like on my trailer, I've got a single trickle charger, but I've got it run parallel on the battery, so it's just one large 12-volt load. not great, but it doesn't get used enough that I ever run them down, so it's not a problem. Whereas this right here, obviously, when it gets used, it's gonna get used. So need something to really make sure my batteries stay hot. Plus these batteries are really expensive. So this thing right here, it's a little box that I'm gonna mount up on the back wall of the cab. Maybe I'll take a piece of wood or something and mount it up there. Haven't totally locked all that down just yet. But it's got a single 110 power, which I will wire to the back of this. And then it drops a cord out that I can hardwire into each battery. And I can maintain each battery separately. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. So, got a whole lot of pieces to install. I also got this guy right here. I've had this guy for a while. It actually works really good. This is just for crimping 1/0 4 gauge, really heavy wire. You know, back in the day, I just used to use like whatever the great big Phillips head was, put it in the middle of the crimp, wham, smash it down. So I've upgraded throughout the years to something that works a little bit better. It looks a bit more professional when you do it, you know, it looks like it's supposed to be done that way. And we've got heat shrink for all of our 1/0 connections and everything. So all that said and done, I guess we need to get over here and kind of start laying it out in the back of the truck. I'm gonna check right quick, see if I've got rib nuts for these, because if not, there is a Fastenal near where I work. Maybe I can go there tomorrow and get some. If not, I'll call McMaster-Carr, have some overnighted. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday, so I can get them done. I can get them by the end of the week. We still get this dude going. Okay, maybe not get it going, but we can get this stuff installed. So let's get over here, get started laying this stuff out. Now that I've showed you what we're working with, let's go see the space we're working with, because it ain't a lot. Alrighty then. So I went ahead, I took a measurement and put this tape down right here. So I didn't have to put marks on my carpet that I can't get back off. So I took my paint pen and I marked, that's the dead center of the truck right there. So what I'm kind of imagining here, and it also works out that the tape is almost the exact same width as my fuse holder here. So I'm imagining my fuse block going in there like this, and the batteries flanking it on either side. Now, then I can either pull my main power lead off, and I could go right here. I could drop down through my floor. It'll be nice and safe and out of the way because the seat doesn't quite come back into it, not at this low point anyway. So should be protected pretty well there. Or I could, you know, have my main power lead coming off and just go straight, you know, just straight down through the floor here. We can kind of sort that out when time comes. But first things first, I kind of got him centered up where I want right there. So we're gonna take the little paint pen, make us some marks down in here. That way we know where to drill some holes, because my plan, oh, did I get one made there? Because my plan is to mark these, drill them, and put rib nuts in place so that I can come back and screw it down and be nice and firm. You got that much power. I mean, a lot of people would just shoot some screws through the floor, and I mean, that probably hold it pretty good, but I like to have be able to have it, if I take this thing out or something, or if it gets pulled on or something like that, it's not just gonna rip a screw out of the floor. I know that it's in there and it's good and solid. This is inside my cab, so if this comes loose and stuff gets to sparking, you know, this carpet's gonna go up pretty quickly, I would imagine. So I wanna try not to let that happen. So next plan right here, I'm gonna come through and we'll center punch each one of these, and then we'll come back and drill them and get this guy screwed down. So I'm gonna go find a center punch right quick. All right, well, first thing down. Now we just gotta kind of figure out how far we want to put everything on either side of it, flanking it. So you'll definitely see, I did go ahead and take the back seat out. Just made it a lot easier for me to get in here and work. And then I was actually looking at the seat frame on the bottom. When I originally put the thing in, I wanted it to sit just a little bit lower, but at the time, man, I just really want to get the seat in it and kind of move on to the next thing. Well, now that we're kind of on the tail end of this deal here and I'm getting a little better look at it, I think I'm going to try to cut, see if I can't take an inch or two out of that bracket. Like right now, my legs are a little tight under the steering wheel. If I had a tilt wheel, it really wouldn't be a problem. And I could get a tilt column and put in it, but that's more crap I got to take apart and put back together that I just really don't feel like messing with. So if I could take an inch or two out of this seat bracket and not have to change anything else, you know, dramatically, that's a win. So we'll get these batteries and stuff mounted, and then we'll see about addressing that. But for now, we're ready to move on with figuring out where we're going to put these battery mounts. Okay, dokie. So, got these super cool battery mounts. So, let's see here. So basically we got these 6 guys right here that hold it down. Does it require all 6? Probably not. Am I gonna put in all 6? I don't know. Probably not. I'm thinking that 4 of these bad boys will hold it just fine. So now, basically, I just gotta measure. I'm gonna push this thing into this back wall as far as I can. Give me a tape measure right quick, and we'll measure how far off we want to put this dude. Fine. Man, these things are so cool. I can't believe they're that cheap. Oh man, that's gonna look good right there. It looks nice against that black. Alrighty. So, let's see here. All right, what is that? Looks like an old roly-poly. All right, so how far off do we want to go here? Well, that's 2 inches. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. That centers the weight pretty good. Gives me pretty good room to work in there. What is this one? So right there, that's, there we go, that's 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. That's not too bad. I don't hate that. So just I mean, I want to have the wires be coming off the back right here, dropping down, because the seat fits kind of tight right across here. The seat's probably going to be almost touching the top of the battery, or probably will be touching the top of the battery. It'll push in the back of the seat a little bit. I really don't care. It is what it is. Let's see here. See what 2 inches looks like. That doesn't look bad either. I don't really know. I mean, I guess there's no particular rhyme or reason that it has to be any kind of way or the other, but is more better? I don't know. I had thought maybe at some point in time I might be able to put me like a little sub right here, maybe. That would be kind of cool. I don't know what the stereo is going to sound like right now, so if I did, I would obviously have to take it out to access the body bolts, which hopefully I never have to take the body bolts out of it. Thing about it is, with this big wire in here, I think I'd rather give myself a little bit more room to work than less. So if we go 2 1/2, that's fine too. I think I'm gonna go with 2 1/2. It's my final answer. Yep, I'm digging that. So now, I'm thinking right now, I mean, I've got the rib nuts to put all 6 of them in. I don't know. It's going to be hard because these have these tapered head bolts, so they really kind of center themselves as they go in. And I'm not a terrible hole driller, But I can go and tell you right now that I'm not gonna hit, I ain't gonna hit 4 of these dead on balls, let alone 6 or 12. So I think I'm just gonna start with the 4 corners and we'll see what we get. So what I may do is try to mark and drill the first like 2 on the back side right here. I'll mark them and I'll drill them. And then I may come back and try to just use a drill bit. No, I can't do that. Okay, I'm just gonna have to mark them and drill them and hope for the damn best, I reckon. And that does suck because it is really hard to drill these things because the carpet, you know, it's not super thick, but it does add an element that you have to go through. And then B, you got that sound deadening material underneath here, and that stuff it does want to make a drill bit walk a little bit, which can be problematic, as you could imagine. So I don't know, I'm just gonna have to drill it and hope for the best. And that's about the only thing I know to do right now. So we're gonna drill it and we're gonna slap some rib nuts in here and we're gonna hope for the best. So you just saw me drill holes, put rib nuts in, you know what it looks like. So we come back, hopefully we'll have some bolts that line up and we'll bolt these things down and start getting an idea for what we're looking like, for where we want to run some wires, and we'll get these batteries fastened in here. So we'll be right back. Alrighty, so I actually got 4 of them pretty close to the right spot on each one of them. I think I only missed with like this one on each side. I missed it by a little bit, but everything still went in and bolted down nice and tight. I am just really abundantly happy with how that went. So now we got our batteries over here. These jokers are heavy, man. So I'm trying to decide right now what's going to be the best way. I guess I'm just going to set it up here, see if I can fish this guy behind it, or if I need to go ahead and start the bolts now, if I can slide it in under this little plate or what here. I think I can actually. Ooh, that's going to be really tough to get to tighten those. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and start these. I am going to put a little bit of Loctite on them. Now I'm going to tell you why. It's not necessarily because I think that these will come loose, but it's really more because this is a steel bolt going into aluminum threads. And anytime you do that, as I've talked about before, you need to put something on that bolt, whether it be anti-seize or just something to lubricate those threads, because if not, you run the risk of the steel bolt actually galling on the aluminum threads. And if that dude galls, it is a wrap. You are not going to, you're not going to get that dude. Ooh-wee. You know, I don't think I'm actually going to have to put a little dent back of the cab right here, because those cap screws are hitting. So, no, that's not a perfect situation, but that's what's about to happen. And what sucks about this is right here where I've got to hit this thing, it could possibly break loose my seam sealer. I hope not. Just need to get me a little dent right there. It's kind of like when you're clearing for headers, you know. Now, let's see if we got clearance we need here. Alright, that one started nicely. It's just because it's like a wafer head, you know, it's got like the washer made onto it already. Oh yeah, there we go. Both of them started just fine. Look at that. Now, I'm gonna have to slide this thing under here because it ain't gonna, I'll never get those bolts started any other damn way. Oh yeah, come on baby. Is that it? Is it in there? Shoo, buddy. All right, this is going to be very difficult. So, just going to get this one started. Getting those bolts on the backside tightened is going to be more difficult than I had anticipated. But when is it not, right? don't think it's quite sitting in there all the way. Yeah, I guess it is. There we go. Apparently my bolt starting skills were failing me at the moment. This would be where you'd have the Jeopardy music playing, you know, if it were that kind of day. Okay. Let's zip this guy down. Probably gonna have to get a longer extension. That's really, really nice. Now I'm gonna go get a really long extension so I can get it down in there on the back side, tighten those back ones. Okay, I said really long. It's not really, really long. It's just longer than the one that I had. Now, I gotta fish this guy down in here. Ooh, got him. Well, that is not something I hope to ever have to do on the side of a road. Oh, what the hell? Let's get this other one. Remember, they have to fit this tight in order to clear the, give us as much clearance as possible to the back seat. That's the reason. All right. Shoo! Now, I'll just get this guy off here. Oh my God, that's gonna come off here. Okay. Yay! Hey, that looks good. I like that. That is super clean. Heck yeah. $40 Amazon special for the win. So I'm gonna go and slap that other one in. It's gonna look a lot like what I just did. So I'm gonna slap that bad boy in, and then we'll come back when it's time to get a plan to start wiring this beast up. Man, that looks so clean. So clean. Okay, boys and girls. So, as you see, we got batteries. They're both in there, they're both done. Came out really, really cool. So, you see I got my charger right here. This is that NOCO Genius Trickle charger I was telling you about. It's got the wires that run to both batteries so we can control them. Now, originally I had thought I was gonna put it on the back wall of the cab right there, kind of somewhere right in here. And if I did that, it kind of interferes with the seat being able to go back. And I mean, it's already kind of tight in here, so obviously I don't want to lose any ability to put the seat back, you know, as far as possible. So then I had thought, well, I could mount it on the back of the cab right here, which I could do. You know, haven't completely ruled it out, but the back of the cab is not perfectly flat. You know, it's got like some ribs in that go in and out. And there's one, and it's dead in the center right here. So the problem with that is it comes in. So on either side of it, there's like a half-inch, you know, gap from the back wall of the cab to the where this center rib is. So I wouldn't be able to mount it there because you got that big old gap you'd have to make up some type of way. I mean, I guess technically I could do that. I just have to put some type of spacer in there. And I mean, I guess that would look okay. But then I'd have to fold the seat forward every time I plugged it up to make sure that it was, you know, it was doing what I wanted it to do correctly. So what I did get to looking at is, what if I just move this thing and put it somewhere like right here? Now, oddly enough, I went back and I watched my old videos to see exactly what the floor looked like right here. And there's a big old piece right here that I actually had to put in as a patch because I cut it out because there was a bar in the way keeping me from being able to put the floor in. I don't exactly remember what the reason was. It's a couple years ago at this point. But I like this because if it's mounted right here, I can see what's going on with my batteries as soon as I plug it up, and I can select through whatever I want it to be doing. So then, you know, what are you going to do with the cords, you might ask? Well, you know, I could run them right under the seat. And that would look really ugly, having those wires exposed, and there's just no way. You know, there's no way that I'm going to allow that to be a thing. It's just, no, not possible. So I thought, well, what I could do though, I could make a tiny slit in the carpet right here, and I could fish these wires through all the way underneath the carpet, and go underneath the seat and bring it out right back here. Then I could run the wire to each battery right here, and then the other one I could put me a little hole in the floor, and I could fish it out to the side like what I was talking about doing. That would work quite well. So right now, this is kind of the leader in the clubhouse. So the problem is, up here on the front, the carpet has got that really thick jute padding underneath it. So I'm gonna have to make a hole big enough that I could get the nutsert. Probably gonna use just a small nutsert. It won't be anything big, because these things, it doesn't have a, it's just got like, I don't know, maybe a 3mm slot right here to even bolt the thing down with. So it wouldn't need a lot anyway. So basically, I'm gonna sit her up here. I'm gonna get my white pin. I'm gonna kind of mark it where I like it, because right there it's kind of tucked under the dash. I don't imagine anybody would ever be riding in the middle, but I mean, I do have seat belts in the event that they did. So, you know, basically I just gotta kind of stand back and look at it and eyeball it to where it's kind of square. I think it would be pretty much out of the way, because if anybody was sitting here anyway, they'd probably sit with their feet to the side, you know, kind of kick to the side anyway. So I just gotta get my white pin and make a mark right quick. Then I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna pull these seatbelt bolts out, that way I can reach onto the carpet to where the wires would be. I think, I mean, that seems simple enough. I wouldn't have to cut too big of a slot in the carpet to fit these through. Fitting the plug through, well, that would take a decent sized cut, but honestly, I'm probably gonna cut this off so that I can hardwire an extension cord onto it to get it where I want anyway. So I might just go ahead and just snip this guy off, and that way I just can make another little tiny cut to fish it back here anyway, until I figure out if I want to put a bigger hole back here, exactly how I'm going to do that. So I guess with all that said, first things first, I need to grab my white pin, and we'll make a mark right here. Basically, I'm just going to install two little tiny riv nuts, put two small bolts through there. Then we'll figure out where to put our slits in our carpet and fish these wires under. So I guess I'm gonna go grab my pin right quick, and then we'll come back and we'll get going with this. Oh man. Okay, so just a second ago you saw me kind of lose my cool. And here's why. Because I went to my rib nut, my thread setter kit, and I found two rib nuts in there that were a 5mm. I looked around, I found two perfect Phillips head screws that were the right thread and everything, but I only had two of those rib nuts. Well, this jute and everything is so thick that it is, let's see, I'll show you. It is, well, it's that thick. It's a solid 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch from the top of the carpet down to the top of the hole that I had to drill for the rib nut itself. Now, the problem with that was I tried to stick it down in there, and I didn't get the rib nut seated all the way down onto the steel. So when I went to crimp it, it just wasted the rib nut. Remember I said I only had two of them. So I had to, basically I had to see what I had that was close to it that would fit the hole that I've already drilled, and would actually still fit the charger itself. I found some 1024 rib nuts that I had, which, yeesh, it's gonna be close. These may actually, well, they could be a tiny bit smaller than the hole that I made. I hope not. Man, it's gonna be, sheesh. It's gonna be real close. Now, the problem that I have now though is I still have to get this thing down in there deep enough so I can set this thing, and I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that just yet. And of course I just now realized that I've got to swap out my die set here on this dude. Swap it over to the 1024 from the 5mm, which that only takes just a second, but maybe, well, you know what, that thing will thread way out, and it's got this thread that locks on there. Maybe I can, it doesn't take, the thing is, it doesn't take a whole lot to set this size riv nut, so maybe I can loosen this up in the thread setter itself, and I can get down in there to it. But I mean, what a pain in the butt. I mean, of course I don't really have, if I had somebody working with me, I'd just get somebody with a nut on the bottom side down there and have them hold it while I tighten the stupid thing in place, but I don't have that. I work by myself, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't be happy with that anyway, because then it's still not really serviceable if I want to take the damn thing off for some reason, which I'm sure I will at some point. I like to be able to just, you know, I like to make things where they're serviceable, as you've already seen. So I'm gonna go get the right thread setter for this, and then hopefully I can set this dude down in there far enough and make it work. Yay. Alright, you know what sucks is I really thought that putting the batteries in was gonna be, you know, the more difficult thing to do, and it's really it actually went pretty smooth, so of course this had to be a pain in the butt. So I mean, I guess it just is what it is. At the end of the day, it just gotta take me a few minutes to sort it out, but I will figure it out because, as I have said before, I am a stubborn man. Very stubborn. Alright, so there's that. I might be able to make this work. Ooh. No, because it looks like it has to be done in there. Man, that's real close right there. I don't know if you can see that. The thing is, this part right here, this shoulder. Now, if I made this hole big enough for that shoulder to get down in there, I mean, I guess I could do that, but would you ever see it? I don't know, that's the thing. I mean, I had even thought about going way up in here and making a slice in the carpet so that I could open it up so I could just lay it over to the side enough to go down in there and do it, but I don't like that idea either. I don't like, you know, the thought of just hacking my carpet to death, you know. I mean, I guess I'm already going to put a couple little slits in it right there, but oh man, I'm aggravated right about now. This is just stupid. It just shouldn't be this difficult. So I don't know how long this is going to take or what I'm going to have to go through to get this done. So I'm going to try one last time right here while I got y'all watching me. And if this doesn't work, I am going to click the camera off. And I'm going to sit down and figure out whatever I'm going to have to do to make this work. And I'm going to get it to work. And then I'll come back and I'll just have to tell you whatever I had to do to get it to work, because I mean, who knows? You know, it could take days, you know, for me to figure it out. So, see, like right here, like if I could loosen that thing up. Well, I just did loosen up a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just gonna have to keep messing with it until I sort it out. So, let's try it right quick. I got some threads in it right there. Oh, that felt pretty good. Feels really loose. Yeah, no. Man. Alright, so wish me luck. I'm gonna figure this out. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do just yet, but I will figure it out. Okay, well, that was positively miserable. I went ahead, I just cut the carpet so I could fold it back. You saw me do that. I went ahead, I sank this rib nut, and when I did it right when I was kind of closing, it kind of went clunk right there toward the very end. And I thought that was a little odd, probably not good. I went ahead and I set this one, and it set just fine. I didn't try to set it quite as firmly as I did this one. Well, then I ran the bolt down through there, and I did get to go through there, but I could tell the threads were not happy. Something was weird. I got the bolt back out of it, the screw back out of it. Threads were a little bit messed up on that. So I ran a die over the threads on my little bolt, got it cleaned up good. So then I thought, well, I'll shoot a tap through there right quick. Because apparently what happened, I tried to set it a little too much, and I tore the threads up at the top of the hole is what I did. And so then when I tried to run my screw through there, it kind of boogered up the threads on my screw, which also boogered up the threads deeper into the rib nut. So I got the screw cleaned up. I came back and I tried to run a tap into the rib nut, and then the rib nut broke loose as I was trying to tap it. So then the tap was stuck in the rib nut. So then I just spent, I don't know how long, ripping the tap out of the rib nut. Then I finally got that out, so then I had to get in there with a grinder and grind the head off of the rib nut so that it would fall out without making the hole any bigger, because I didn't have any room to play with as far as the shoulder on that rib nut. It just was not real big. So finally got that out, put a new rib nut in. Obviously I was a bit more cautious when I was setting that one, and the threads are nice on it. Now I fold everything back up and I vacuumed it. I have ran both screws in. They do screw in just Jim Dandy. Now as far as the cut in the carpet goes, my plan is to pull all three of these wires together and run them right down through the carpet. I set it up here in place and kind of roughly marked where I felt like those wires would run down through there together nicely. And the box itself covers the entire cut in the carpet, so you can't really see it. So that's my plan there. So now we got to pull this up, and we've got to run all these wires now. Hopefully that won't be, you know, too big of a deal. I don't know, we'll see. Tonight has definitely been one of those nights. You know, it seems like when it rains it pours, you know. A few things going on in my mind that are already aggravating me, and then you add this, what I had hoped would be something simple to my day, or maybe even not even something simple, but something that I could be excited about, something happy about, and it has been just a complete it's been a complete cluster. There's a lot that I'd like to say, but I try not to cuss in my videos, so I won't say a lot. But it's been a hassle, to say the least. So I am going to clip this end off of the 110 power source right here, and because I've got a plan for how I'm going to wire it up later, and I'm going to have to extend it anyway, so that's not really a big deal. So I'm going to clip this off right quick. Let me go grab some pliers or some cutters. We'll clip this dude off. Then we'll come back, we'll fish these wires through right quick, and then we'll see if we can at least get this thing screwed down tonight. That way maybe I can at least have one win for the day and end what has been an otherwise crap day. So I pulled the carpet up earlier, and wasn't too bad to pull it up. Alrighty, done now. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's just 3 wires. I wired the entire house up. I can wire this stupid thing up. Alright, so my plan is to pull this up enough that I can just reach under here. So the thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have to go back and grab my tape. So I think I'm just going to tape all this together, and then that way it'll kind of pull, you know, when I pull one through, it'll pull the others through. Let me go grab my tape that I just took out of here. All right, here we go. Pull it all snug. Let's see what we got here. All right, so I do have the fused connections right here for, what do we got here? One on ground, one, yeah. 4 of them, all 4 are fused, powers and grounds. I don't know why they fused both sides of it, but I mean, whatever. If it helps keep my truck from burning up, I ain't mad. All right, so that should kind of hold them together there. So let's see here, maybe if I just tape it all the way out. Might be the best way. I think I can probably reach under from the bottom and get to it mostly. Hopefully it won't be too big a deal to do that way. If I can reach all the way, it should be pretty easy. I won't have to run like a fish tape or anything like that. I mean, surely not. I think but 2.5 feet, but stranger things have happened, right? All right. Well, the thing is the jute. I know y'all saw how much trouble I had cutting that stuff. It is a pain in the butt because it's thick, but it's also what makes the vehicle quiet when it goes down the road, so it is a necessary evil. All right. Now, come on, baby. Come to Papa. I hear it. It's actually fairly loose under here if I can ever get it past the part where all the jute is. I can hear it sliding. Oh man, it feels like I'm right there. The problem is it's probably wadding up somewhere right here. I think it is. Oh man, come on. You gotta be right there. Man, I think it is just out of reach of my hand, maybe just by an inch. Of course, it doesn't want to push anymore. Am I really gonna have to get a fish tape after this? Surely not. I don't really know what's holding me. I should be there right now. Ooh, 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 I got it. Man, it's curled up. That's exactly what it did. It turned and went right down through here. Ah, there we go. Holy moly. That would have been a good idea to have done a couple years ago before I put the carpet in. If I had only known, right? And I could have taken the carpet back out of it, but I didn't want to have to take the kick panels out of it and sill plates and all that other crap that I put in a long time ago. That's the one thing that sucks about, you know, finishing this stuff out after the fact is, you know, you have to take apart a lot of stuff that you thought you were already done with. And that little thing's heavy. Alright. Now, see if I can kind of get these wires to feed a little bit here. That way they're not just completely screwy. Now getting these screws started through this carpet and through this box is going to be a horse of a different color too. Because while they are long enough, there's not really any extra. All right. Oh yeah. I think that's going to be quite nice actually. Little cables are run through right there. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So now, this one is the harder one to find, so I think I'm gonna go and start it first, and hopefully I can just press it all down, and because the hole is open, so I can just slide it over the end of it. That's my plan anyway. Ooh, did it start? Oh man, no way I got that lucky. No flipping way. I feel like this hole could be just a little bit bigger here. It's kind of wanting to guide my screw funny. I don't have my razor blade over here anymore, so let's try to use what's handy here. Kind of sucks to just mangle my carpet all up like this. I mean, it's not the super cleanest install anyway, but still sucks. There we go. I can kind of see her a little better down in there now. There again, that jute, man, it gets all in the way. Kind of gets into threads and everything when you go to messing with it. I believe that's it right there. You have to be careful with these little fine thread screws. Oh yeah. That's beautiful. Heck yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, that's gonna be nice. Now, we gotta get this guy to go down and start. Then we can snug it all up. It's one of them deals that's weird because I feel so close to being done with it, yet there's still so much to do to this thing. Can almost fool yourself sometimes. Heck yeah, I got him. Oh, that looks nice. Super clean. Love it, love it, love it. All right, I'm gonna snug this dude down. Snug this other side down. Push it down into this jute, makes it a little easier to turn, pick up some of the slack ahead of time here. As it goes in the whole way, I can feel that jute getting on the threads. Pulling down real nice though. Yeah, you can't even see where I cut the carpet now. Oh yeah. That looks awesome. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Whew. Well, that's that. That dude is mounted. She's nice and tight, shouldn't go anywhere. Hell, I believe somebody could put their feet on it, it wouldn't even matter. Wires are hidden nice, all run back here. Got plenty of slack to do whatever I want to do with it. So I'm gonna sort out exactly how I want to route that. And man, I'll sit down and figure out what's next. Maybe it's gonna be time to chain these batteries together and start making some wires. So, shoo, I guess I'm gonna call it a night. This is a win for what was otherwise a crap day. But that dude is in there, and I'm gonna go and sleep on that. So we'll see you in just a flash. All right, so what have we here? So I tried videoing while I was doing all that, and I was back and forth from underneath the truck to in here 100 times, and the video was crap. So I'm just gonna have to kind of give you a quick recap here. You see, we got all our two positives tied together, our two negatives tied together. You can see right through there, that is where the positive goes through the floor and underneath the truck. Then on the other side, that is where the negative goes through the floor and down to the frame. Now originally I had talked about mounting my charger right up here. That just wasn't gonna work. So we got her mounted up there, out of the way. You see it sits nice to the dash. The wires run under the carpet through the floor. Then I took the power wire and for each one, and I looped it up, ran it behind the battery, brought them in underneath the wires, and same for over there. Now each one of those powers and grounds are individually fused. You see we got our big fuse block for our main power right there. Now, I ran the power cord for the charger, it's right there. Got me a little rubber grommet there as well, covering that up. Now right now that's just kind of hanging out underneath the truck. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to put that plug here like I talked about doing, and drape it down in there and tie it in with that wire down there. when the time comes. So now everything is wired. So now we're to actually a pretty momentous occasion, and I ain't gonna lie, I got butterflies just thinking about it. But when I put that power wire on that fuse block, that is going to power up this truck for the first time in almost 5 years. I don't even remember all the wiring that I have done in the last couple of years on this truck. So I don't know. It should work, and it should all work just like factory. But things happen. So let me throw you on a tripod right quick, and we'll see if we hook this thing up. All right, well, here goes something, we hope. Hopefully nothing sparks and there's no fire or anything like that. I do have a fire extinguisher somewhere. Okay, I see it. It's right over there. So, I mean, shouldn't be an issue. It should be just fine. I got the key out of the ignition. I don't think anything should happen when I hook this up. So, I mean, all we can do is just put it down and see, right? So, like I said, this is a pretty big deal. It's been a long time coming, so let's just do it. Alright, well, nothing happened, so, which, I mean, nothing was really supposed to happen, so I guess that's a good thing. So let's snug her down here. Okay. Well, everything seems okay. I don't hear anything running. Don't see any smoke. So I guess let's turn the key on. See what happens. Oh my God! It works! It's alive! Something is running somewhere. I don't know what. I hear something going. I don't know what that is right now. The radio is on. It just turned up. I don't know why. Okay, so whatever was running up there is satisfied itself. I'm gonna guess that was maybe the fuel pump repressurizing the system, maybe. I should probably go back there and look for a leak. Or maybe that was the glow plugs warming up. Hell, I don't know. Of course, I got an airbag light. Looks like I've got an oil and a temperature light, ABS light. Neither of the front ABS are plugged up, so I kind of expected that. I mean, other than that, everything, I mean, not that I expected it not to work, it should have, but I don't even know if you can see me right now. I don't know how much of this I got covered, so if you just looked at everything but my head, I'm sorry. Like I said, this is a big moment. I wonder if the fan works. Let's see. I hear things happening. OMG. It's working! Oh my gosh. Like I said, all the wiring was factory, but I did have to kind of doctor on some of it, some here and there. So, there's always a chance that you miss something, and Lord, finding it now, this long after the fact, would be challenging to say the least. But the fan is blowing. Nice. So that seems to have all worked just fine. Whatever that is running again. I don't know what the hell that is. Sounds like it's coming. It sounds like a little air pump. It didn't have any air. It didn't have any factory air stuff on it, so I don't know what the hell that would be. I'll have to ask my buddy who's a diesel mechanic about it. Well, I'm pretty excited about that for right now. The radio is on, seems to be working. I'm not worried about messing with that right now. I hear noise coming out of the speakers, so yep, noise coming out of the speakers. That's fine with me for right now. I don't care. That man, that is so big. Okay, so I guess next thing we're going to attack. We're going to well, I need to get the key out of it. There we go. So I guess next thing up is to figure out lights. I'm gonna wire up my front lights. We gotta wire up our turn signals out there. The headlights are plugged in, but we gotta wire up our turn signals because the new headlights that I put in, they've got like a halo on them, and then they've got a turn signal that's built into the headlight. But then we've also got to kind of branch those wires off and run them to our lights and our fenders as well, to tie those in. We got a few things that are needing to operate on switched power, like our power windows. Our horn will be on switched power. Our airbags are going to be on switched power. Got to sort that out. So I guess, God, I'm so excited. Everything seems to work so far. Granted, we still got a lot of things to check out, but so I guess next up we're gonna get out here and we're gonna check on our lights and see if all that is working and get them all working. So I guess let's get to some wiring. All right, well, hey, got the batteries installed, got that trickle charger in. The batteries actually went really easy, man. Trickle charger was a pain dead in my ass, but got it all in there. I love how it turned out. It looks killer. It's gonna work killer. And I know that it's probably pretty underwhelming for y'all when I turned the key on and everything powered up for the first time, but I hope you understand that, you know, I've been working on, at this point, I have been working on this truck, you know, a little over 5 years. I don't even remember all the stuff that I had done to that truck wiring wise at that point in time. So, you know, there's just always a chance to have some kind of little problem that could just be a really big damn problem. And luckily, everything went great. Power turns on, everything worked great. Super excited about that. That noise I heard running was the vacuum pump under the hood. It's so it built vacuum in the pressure tank because it obviously had none. So made it this far. This was a long video, I know it was, but I didn't want to cut it off in the middle because that would just seem kind of stupid. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the content enough to, you know, click that little subscribe button down there, help a brother grow the channel a little bit. The videos are going to get better. I'm always striving to improve, try to get better angles, better equipment, figure out new ways to shoot the content and make it better. Got all types of different stuff coming soon too, man. You know, stuff with motorcycles, stuff with cars, just a little bit of everything. So tune in for the next one. We'll see you then.